Imagine this. You wake up one morning and realize your life has been built from millions of tiny choices. What you said, what you avoided, what you tried, and what you feared. Every later became a lost chance. Every today became growth. Now you stand at the same crossroad again. One path is comfort. The other is change. One keeps you the same. The other builds the person you dream to be. This is not just another video about English. It's about you, your focus, your courage, your future. Because learning a language isn't about grammar. It's about power. The power to decide, to speak, to transform. Stay with me. In the next few minutes, you'll learn not only how to grow faster in English, but how to grow stronger in life. The rules you'll hear can change the way you think, the way you act, and the way you see yourself. So take a deep breath. Your new chapter begins right now. Every morning begins the same way. You wake up, look at your phone, and the first decision appears. To get up or to stay in bed for 5 more minutes. It looks small, but that single choice sets the tone for your entire day. When you choose to move, your mind becomes stronger. When you delay, your doubt grows quietly. This is how every habit is built, one simple decision at a time. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to decide once, and then repeat that same decision again tomorrow. That is how progress starts. You think learning English is about words, grammar, and rules, but it's really about discipline. It's about the small moment when you say, "I'll practice for 10 minutes," and then you actually do it. You decide to open your notebook, to press play on a lesson, to repeat one sentence again and again until it sounds natural. Each repetition is a promise you make to yourself. Each promise creates a little piece of confidence. Most people wait for motivation. They wait for the right mood, the right teacher, the right day. But motivation is not coming. Motivation is born when you act first. When you start before you feel ready, your brain wakes up and begins to follow your body. Action creates energy. Energy creates progress. Progress creates motivation. So, if you want to change your life, stop waiting to feel ready. Decide first and let your feelings catch up later. You don't need to study for hours. You only need to make one clear choice every day to show up. Even 5 minutes of focused learning can change your brain. Think of it like watering a small plant. You can't flood it once a month and expect it to grow. You must water it a little every day. Your English is that plant. When you give it a little care daily, it grows silently, beautifully, and without drama.
Sometimes your mind will whisper excuses. "I'm too tired. It's too hard. I'll start tomorrow." You must recognize those thoughts as old habits, not truth. You are not lazy. You are simply at the beginning. Every learner feels the same resistance at first, but once you make one small decision to start now, to listen, to repeat, everything changes. The hardest part of any journey is the first step. Remember, every strong speaker, Every fluent person you admire once stood exactly where you are. They didn't have special talent. They just made one powerful decision, not to give up. And they made that same decision every single day. Their accent improved. Their confidence grew. Their life opened in new directions. All because of one word: decide. So today, you have two paths. The easy one is familiar, comfortable, safe. You close the book, scroll a bit, and tell yourself you'll try later. The other path feels uncertain but alive. You repeat one new phrase, write one small paragraph, listen to one short story in English, and then you feel it, a spark, the quiet joy of doing something real. That spark is the beginning of your transformation. From this moment, every time you face a choice, choose growth over comfort. Don't ask, "Can I?" Ask, "Will I?" Because learning English and building your life both begin the same way, with one brave, simple, everyday decision.
Some days, your mind feels heavy before you even begin. You wake up and there are already too many choices waiting for you. What to wear, what to eat, what to answer, what to watch, what to study. Each small decision takes a little energy from your brain. You don't notice it at first, but by the afternoon, your focus is gone. You are not weak. You are just tired from deciding too much. This is called decision fatigue. It happens to everyone. The good news is that you can fix it by creating systems, not by pushing harder. You don't need to decide everything every day. Smart people reduce choices for small things so they have more energy for what truly matters. You can do the same. Choose one time for learning English and make it a habit. Maybe it's morning before work. Maybe it's night before sleep. Choose once and keep it forever. That one rule saves you 100 future choices. When your brain knows, now it's study time, it stops arguing. You simply start. You can do the same with your meals, your clothes, your routines. Prepare them in advance so you don't waste energy on details. The more you automate small things, the more strength you keep for big things. Every minute you save from "what should I do now?" becomes a gift to your focus. You will notice that when you reduce chaos outside, your mind becomes quiet inside. When your brain is tired, it wants easy rewards. That is when you open your phone, scroll endlessly, and later feel empty. But if you understand what is happening, you can stop the cycle. When you feel mental noise, don't blame yourself. Say quietly, "My brain is tired. I will rest, not quit." Stand up, breathe, stretch, drink water, and return to your task with a clear mind. 10 minutes of calm can save you hours of frustration. You can also train your brain to recover faster. Take short breaks without screens. Go for a walk. Listen to silence. Let your thoughts breathe. Your brain is not a machine. It's a muscle that grows with care. If you respect your energy, it will reward you with clarity. You don't need more willpower. You need fewer meaningless choices. Think about it like this. Every person has a limited number of good decisions per day. Don't waste them on what to wear or which video to watch. Save them for what builds your life. Save them for learning, for speaking, for creating something new. Each time you choose focus over noise, you recharge your power. Imagine your day as a battery. Every unnecessary decision drains it. Every system refills it. You are not lazy. You are overloaded. Simplify your world, and you will discover that you have more energy than you thought. When your mind is light, your English becomes sharper. You remember faster. You speak with more confidence. Your progress does not depend on how much you study, but on how clearly you protect your attention. Small, consistent focus is stronger than random hours of effort. The moment you create order, your brain thanks you. You will feel it, that quiet strength inside that says, "I can do this." Because you can. Your mind was never the problem. It was just tired. Now it's ready again.
There will be moments when your mind feels too heavy to think clearly. You sit at your desk, staring at the same words, but nothing makes sense anymore. You try to focus, but your thoughts move too fast or too slow. You start to doubt yourself. But you are not the problem. Your mind is simply tired. When your brain runs all day without rest, it stops seeing clearly. It mixes emotions with logic, noise with truth. The best thing you can do is stop for a moment and breathe. When your mind is tired, it lies to you. It tells you that you are not good enough, that you are behind, that your effort doesn't matter. You must learn to recognize that voice and not believe it. Those thoughts are just signs of exhaustion, not reality. When this happens, pause. Walk away from your screen, step outside, or sit quietly with your eyes closed. You don't need to fix anything. You just need to let your mind cool down. Resting is not wasting time. It's repairing your focus. When you rest, your brain starts to organize your thoughts and clean the mess inside. It's like washing a window after a storm. Suddenly, you can see again. That's why people who take breaks often make better decisions and learn faster. The pause gives them space to think with clarity, not emotion. This also happens in language learning. You repeat the same sentence again and again, but it sounds wrong. You forget words you knew yesterday. You feel stuck and frustrated. At that moment, stop. Close your notebook. Go for a short walk or listen to something you love in English without trying to study it. Let your brain breathe. When you come back, the sentence will sound easier and the words will return naturally. Late at night, your brain becomes emotional. Problems look bigger, failures look final, and everything feels heavy. That's not truth. That's tiredness pretending to be truth. Many mistakes are made after midnight, not because people are bad, but because their mind is too weak to think clearly. Promise yourself that when you are tired, you won't make big decisions. Sleep first. The morning always brings a different view. Learning to wait is a skill. It means trusting that clarity will come. It means giving yourself permission to slow down. When you wait, you don't lose time, you gain wisdom. When you stop chasing answers, they start coming to you. Sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing for a while. You don't need to fix your whole life in one night. You just need to protect your calm until your energy returns. When you feel lost, don't rush. When your heart feels loud, let it speak, but don't follow it right away. When your mind feels heavy, rest until you can think with kindness again. The truth always waits under the noise, but you can only hear it in silence.
There is a version of you living in the future, and everything you do today is shaping that person. You may not see it, but your future self is already watching. Every time you decide to study or to skip, to speak or to stay silent, that future version of you becomes stronger or weaker. You are building them with every small action, every word you repeat, every moment you choose to keep going. If you could see their face, you would understand that they depend on you completely. Imagine the person you want to become a year from now. Someone who speaks English confidently, thinks clearly, and lives without fear of expressing themselves. That person is real, but they can only exist if you keep your promise today. Every time you practice, even for 10 minutes, you send them a gift. Every time you give up, you take something away. You are not just learning English, you are building a bridge between who you are now and who you want to be. This bridge is made of small choices. You choose to repeat one more sentence, to listen one more time, to write one more paragraph even when you feel tired. These are invisible bricks, but one day you will walk across them. The future you will stand on that bridge and look back with gratitude. They will whisper, "Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for practicing when no one saw. Thank you for believing when it was hard." Thinking about your future self changes how you act in the present. It helps you see beyond short moments of laziness or frustration. When you want to quit, picture your future self sitting in a room full of opportunities, speaking freely, traveling, working anywhere, connecting with people easily. That life is not a dream, it is a direction. And the only way to reach it is through consistent daily effort.
You can make this connection stronger by talking to your future self in simple sentences. Write them down at night before you sleep. Write what you want them to feel, what you want them to have. For example, "I studied today for you." Or, "I made one more effort for your freedom." These short lines remind you that learning English is not just about now. It's about the life you are preparing. When you study, you are sending a message forward in time. Your future self will remember the days when it was hard. They will remember the times you wanted to give up, but didn't. They will remember the patience, the effort, the hours you spent repeating difficult sounds. And they will understand that every mistake you made was a part of the path that brought them confidence. The accent you hated became your strength. The confusion you felt became your understanding. The small steps became success. Sometimes you will not feel motivated, and that's normal. Motivation is a guest. It comes and goes. But responsibility to your future self is permanent. You owe them progress. When you feel tired, remind yourself that your effort today will save them time, pain, and regret tomorrow. Every decision you make is either a gift or a burden for that person. So each morning, ask yourself one simple question. What can I do today that my future self will thank me for? It doesn't have to be big. It can be a single page read, a short video watched in English, a few sentences spoken out loud. These small acts become the foundation of your transformation. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay connected to that version of you who already speaks with confidence, who already feels proud. They are waiting, and every day you practice, you move one step closer to meeting them.
Growth never feels comfortable at the beginning. When you try something new, your mind wants to protect you. It whispers that you are not ready, that you might fail, that it will be embarrassing. That voice is not your enemy, but it's not your truth either. It's simply your comfort zone trying to keep control. Every time you step outside it, your brain sends fear to pull you back. But if you move forward anyway, that fear starts to lose its power. Learning English will test you in the same way. The first time you speak to someone, your heart beats faster. You forget words, your mouth feels heavy, and your voice sounds strange. But this is not failure. This is your brain building new connections. The shaking, the mistakes, the silence between words. These are signs that you are growing. Real growth doesn't feel easy. It feels uncomfortable, uncertain, and alive. When you stay in comfort, you repeat the same day again and again. You use the same sentences, watch the same shows, talk to the same people, and your world stays small. But the moment you do something that scares you a little, your life expands. You say one sentence to a stranger. You record your voice. You join an online class. You post something in English. It feels risky, but that is exactly why it changes you. You can only grow in places where your old self feels nervous. Think about every time in your life when you truly improved. It never happened during comfort. You grew when you faced pressure, when you were uncertain, when you made mistakes and kept going. Comfort is warm, but it freezes progress. Growth is cold at first, but it turns into fire. If you avoid discomfort, you also avoid transformation.
You can train your relationship with fear. Instead of saying, "I'm afraid," you can say, "I'm learning." When you notice your heart racing before you speak, remember that your brain is learning faster than ever in that moment. That nervous energy is a sign of progress, not weakness. You can't build confidence by staying silent. You build it by using your voice even when it shakes. Each day, choose one small challenge that makes you stretch. Read something slightly harder. Listen without subtitles. Talk to someone new. It doesn't matter if it's perfect. What matters is that you try. Every challenge adds a new layer to your strength. One day, you will look back and realize that the situations that once scared you are now your normal. That's how growth feels. It slowly replaces fear with familiarity. When your mind begs you to stop, stay just a little longer. That is the point where the magic happens. 10 more minutes of practice, one more conversation, one more repetition. That is where you grow faster than ever. The difference between people who stay stuck and people who improve is not talent. It's how long they can stay inside discomfort without running away. Growth is a choice you make again and again. You don't have to enjoy it every moment, but you have to respect it. Each mistake is proof that you are trying. Each correction is proof that you care. Each uncomfortable step is a step toward freedom. You will never feel completely ready, but readiness is not the goal. Courage is. When you act with courage, comfort becomes smaller, and your world becomes bigger. That is how you transform from a learner into a speaker, from a dreamer into a doer, from someone who wishes to someone who becomes.
At some point, learning stops being just a routine and becomes a way of seeing the world. You begin to realize that every small choice, every sentence you repeat, every word you learn is part of something bigger. English is no longer only a language. It becomes a reflection of who you are becoming. You stop chasing perfection and start chasing understanding. You stop trying to impress others and start building peace inside your own mind. This is where a new philosophy begins. You learn that progress is not measured in speed, but in consistency. Even 10 minutes a day changes you if you do it with presence. You don't need to study like a machine. You only need to show up with intention. The goal is not to know every word in the dictionary, but to be able to express your truth in another language. That is freedom. When you speak honestly, even with mistakes, you connect. And connection is more powerful than grammar. You start to treat your learning time as something sacred. It's no longer a chore or a task. It's a meeting with your future self. You open your notebook and your mind becomes quiet. You read, you listen, you repeat. There is no rush. The more slowly you move, the deeper everything stays in your memory. You begin to notice small details, the rhythm of sentences, the way emotions live inside words, the music of pronunciation. You start to feel the language, not just study it. Soon you realize that the lessons you learn in English apply to life. When you make mistakes, you learn to forgive yourself. When you forget a word, you learn patience. When you repeat again and again, you learn discipline. When you finally understand a sentence that used to be hard, you learn the value of persistence. English becomes a mirror showing how you deal with fear, frustration, and growth. You are not just learning to speak, you are learning how to live.
Your philosophy changes from "I must learn" to "I get to learn." You stop comparing your progress to others. Everyone has their own rhythm. Some move fast, others slow. But what matters is movement itself. You begin to protect your time, your focus, your peace. You understand that real success is quiet. It happens when no one is watching, in the moments when you choose effort instead of distraction. You also learn to listen differently. You hear people not only with your ears, but with empathy. You understand emotions behind words. You begin to speak not just to be correct, but to be kind, to be clear, to be real. Your English becomes part of your character. Calm, thoughtful, confident. You no longer fear making mistakes because you see them as teachers. Each error brings you closer to fluency, and each repetition shapes your strength. This new philosophy is simple: growth through calm, clarity through action, peace through consistency. You don't need perfect conditions. You only need the decision to start each day with purpose. You remind yourself that learning English is not a destination, but a lifelong journey. You keep walking, step by step, word by word. And one day, you notice something beautiful. You are no longer learning the language, you are living it.
And now, you stand at the edge of something new. You've seen how every choice shapes your life, how patience builds strength, how mistakes turn into lessons, and how English is not just a language, it's a mirror of your growth. You started as a learner, but now you are becoming the creator of your own story. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it. Don't chase motivation. Become it. The next time fear whispers, "Not today," you'll answer with action. The next time doubt says, "You can't," you'll prove it wrong with one more step. Because real change doesn't happen someday. It happens now, in this exact second, with one brave decision to keep going. So, speak louder, live bolder, learn deeper. You don't need permission. You already have everything you need inside you. The world is waiting to hear your voice. Make your next word, your next sentence, your next choice, the one that rewrites your story forever. This is your moment. Start speaking your new life, in English and in truth.
Thanks! Please subscribe and like. Spin a new yarn with us every week. See you there!